Yeah. मैं हट जाऊंगी पूरा, वरना मेरे को वापस आना पड़ेगा।
Okay, so hello everyone, as you all know, I am the host branch. I am at the lead of the Agri Durg, and this is our second on-site event as well as hybrid event. And today's we have 2 days event. The event is about Microsoft Azure roadmap to DevOps, and we have 4 speakers and 2 sessions each both days. So our first session is introduction to cloud computing and introduction to cloud computing is taken by Sonal Jain. She is Azure Dev Lead. Our also first speakers are Azure Dev Lead, and they will continue with the session. We also have quizzes after this session, and we have slides of attendance as well as speakers, active speakers for you all. So let's start this session, and I would like to welcome Sonal Jain, Azure Dev Lead, as well as Microsoft Learn Student Advisor, who continue with our first session.
Thank you, Dheeraj, for the introduction. So you might be thinking who I am. So let's start with my introduction. So hey everyone, I am organizer at Azure Developer Community Raipur, also Gold Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, and also working as project coordinator at Open4 Community. Yeah, so yeah, Dheeraj voice. So yeah. शायद ऑन हो गया।
सेकेंडरी माइक है, चालू कर। सेकेंडरी माइक है क्या?
So yeah, if you want to find me anywhere and would like to contact, then I'm available with username Sonal Jain 067 and Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere. So yeah, starting with the session and talking about introduction to cloud computing. Today's session is now talking about what is cloud. So you might be wondering that this we are talking about this cloud, but we're not talking about this cloud. The definition of cloud goes like servers that are accessed over the internet and the software and databases that run on those servers. So this is a whole definition of what cloud is. So let me tell you in layman terms what cloud is all about. So you can consider cloud to be as a huge repository in which you can store, perform functions like manage, monitor, and do all the things which you can do in your own system. So to explain it in more a deeper way and taking an example, for example, here we are all consuming electricity. And what we are trying to do here is that if we are consuming electricity and taking some units, and then if we want to pay bill of electricity, then what we do, we pay monthly bill according to the units which we are taking. So you can consider cloud to be as that only, that we are using some services from other providers which are there and then paying them as we go. So talking about what cloud is and how it has taken. So people all across the world are facing different issues. And you might be thinking, why cloud? We can use our own systems for doing whatever we want. So why clouds? For example, if I want to host my website, so what I need? Firstly, the stack of servers which I would be needing. Then I would have to handle the traffic which is coming to my site. Nextly, maintain and monitor the servers which are there and troubleshoot issues. So this is the kind of hectic thing which one has to do when one is hosting the services or the website. Uh, when we are talking about taking servers which are really costly, which we need to host, then we need to take those servers to actually host it and perform and give response. So if any one of you don't know about the servers, then please let me know. I can explain what servers are and why we are using it. Anyone is not familiar with word servers, then they can just, I guess everyone is familiar with word servers. So yeah. So why we are buying servers, we are touching upon that thing that we are buying servers for this is responding to the request which is coming to our website, which is a really hectic task. Nextly, talking about handle traffic, which so for example, if I'm having a website, seasonal website, then the traffic might vary according to the seasons which are there. Nextly, monitor and maintain servers. Then, for example, technology is upgrading day by day. So we need to monitor and maintain whatever things are there. We need to upgrade to the latest versions, etc. Nextly, troubleshoot issues. So whatever, being a developer, we know that we need to troubleshoot each and every issues, and there is a lot of issues which come in developers' lives. So yeah, this is the main thing. Nextly, talking about getting started with cloud computing. So you might be thinking that these are the cloud computers which are there. Not really. So yeah. So what is cloud computing? It's the ability to store, process, and access your data. As we have talked about, we are doing is storing, processing, and accessing our data as we do from our computer. So it also holds different processes on remote servers. So you might be thinking, what is remote here? Remote is basically the things which are not in our system, but basically on another system, we are taking space from another people's space and using that. And we need to do process our applications from servers and access the applications via internet. So if you're not getting these things, then don't worry, you would be getting it. I'm just giving gist of it. And if you have any doubts, then you can just let me know. I would try to explain it more layman terms. So what is cloud computing? More of a definition I'm covering off, and we'll be also taking some good examples as well. So what we need to do in the cloud, that we don't need to manage our own physical servers. As we have talked about, that it takes us so much effort and things that we don't need to manage our physical servers. Cloud do it for us. Nextly, talking about it is fast and innovative. We can just take their services and pay as we go. It is also economical, if you say. Next, delivering of computing services over internet. And it has various functions. What we can do is networking, virtualization, and resource, which we'll be covering in the later part of the session. So you might be thinking that as we are paying here also in cloud computing and on premises also. So what's the difference and why we should use cloud as well? So if I am having an organization and taking up and doing the task and creating a software, then what I need to do is create and buy a personalized software to actually firstly start with the building of it, then whatever issues are coming. So these all things I need to do on premises. And if I'm doing on premises, then if I'm having employers, then I need to maintain and give them a task to actually do it. But what in cloud computing we do, that cloud computing is actually doing and saving all of our work of deploying and maintaining and enhancing the troubleshoot issues which are there. In that, what we need to do is we can just select what services which we would like to work on and which cloud has to work on, and then we can easily do our work and focus more on our business needs than on the troubleshooting the issues itself. Nextly, talking about what is the advantages of cloud computing. So as we have talked about, it is cost saving. It is cost saving, but it still depends upon what we require. Nextly, talking about it is security. That people are debating about the security issues which cloud has. So previously, people were facing those issues in security, but now cloud has upgraded to such a level and gone to such a level that it provides us with good security and with good technology as well. So nextly, high availability. As we are paying for those services and taking the system and storage services from cloud, then their work is to provide us with high availability. So this is also the benefit of cloud. Nextly, scalability. Whatever we are hosting applications and servers, we can just scale it. For example, if I am having an application and I would like to scale it my on premises, then I would have to just calculate it first and then buy it accordingly. But in cloud, what I can do is just select how much I want to scale and then scale it by giving the money which I would require. And then it is not my the headache that what I need to do of that storage. That is all cloud would managing that thing. Nextly, talking about flexibility, as we have talked about whatever we can do, and we can take the services, give uh, pay as we go model is there, so we can do whatever and however we want, and it is charging us monthly and also minute wise, and not the money is not going on waste or drain. So also we can increase the collaboration. There are various services which are there which help us to increase the collaboration which is there. So next we're talking about loss prevention. As you might know as developers that we are having so much issues with our PCs and stuff. And if we store our data onto it, we are in the sake of it that we might lose our data some or the other point. So cloud is really a good option for that. Nextly, disaster recovery, same point. But if we are talking about disaster here, then disaster may happen and we whatever data we have locally can go to, we cannot recover that easily. So talking about the service model which is there, software as a service. So it has three kind of services which are there, in which we provide software. Uh, Software as a service is the first one. And here you can see the meme also if you are thinking that kind of this session is going boring. So yeah. So firstly, reading out what the definition is software as a service. So it is software delivery model in which software and associated data are hosted on a cloud, accessed by a users via web browser. So what we are talking about here is that, for example, if I am using any software, for example, gmail.com, what I need to do is that I just need to send messages, send emails, receive them, that's it. I'm not needed to think of that how much traffic is coming there, how much storage would I require, and not anything. And it is as simple as ordering a pizza online. We can just order a pizza, have it, and then we can have fun. So it is as simple as that, and it is pay as you go on. Also, you can see that it delivers in browser, it really delivers, and it is in the application server, and it is dynamically and transparently can do that work. You can also see the favored and non-favored, as we have talked about that it really depends on our needs, what we require and what not we require. So you can really see that in what conditions we can really use software as a service. Nextly, talking about platform as a service. So here we are taking platform to as a service. For example, firstly reading out the definition that it is a computing platform that allows for the creation of web applications in a simplified manner without the complexity of purchasing and maintaining any of the underlying software infrastructure. So if you can see here, example, straight go, that if I want to eat a pizza, that I just visit the restaurant and have it. So it is a little bit complex than ordering a pizza online, and you can see example here. And also the conditions in which I need to use platform as a service, and not favored also. So also if anyone has any doubts, then please let us know. We can clear it. And if no, then we can go ahead as well. Next, we're talking about infrastructure as a service. It is a cloud computing model in which cloud providers make computing resources available to clients, usually in the form of instances or virtual machines. So let me give you a good example here as well. So if I want to build a apartment or anything like that, then in this, according to this model, what I can do, I can buy a land and then design and manufacture whatever things I would like to do, and then my ready house would be ready. So the example which I have took is same as infrastructure as a service. I am provided with the land, but I'm needed to build whatever I think I require. Same as here, I can see if I want to eat a pizza, I have to buy, in this case, the raw materials which are required for pizza and then bake it. So you can see how the complexity increases as we move from software as a service to infrastructure as a service. So that is not really the case. We cannot get files like that. So yeah. So talking about what we need to do in on-premises or infrastructure and platform and software. So as we talked about in software, what we need to do, we need to just see the application and use it. So this is the task only we need to do. Next, in platform, see what data and how we are going to store our data and how our applications are working on. In infrastructure as a service, I need to see more of the things like buildways which I need to set up and the operating system which I would require my system or software talked about, that we need to see each and everything from buying our softwares to actually creating our servers to actually thinking about what kind of storage and networking we are like to have. So nextly is the brief overview or the big picture here you can see of the hosted applications. So in this, as you can see, the SaaS is there. We can take any of these products and use it in software as a service platform. In PaaS, here you can see that we can use development tools, operating systems, servers, networking, and data centers as well. But here you can see as is there, which is providing us with servers, networking, and data centers, which we can have and do our tasks accordingly. So I'd like to ask if anyone has any doubts till now, or everyone is clear with the topic or got a gist of, yeah. So that is platform as a service. In which that we are getting the platform and then we are building our applications on that platform and do the things accordingly. I hope it's clear. Okay. So if you are thinking that you can give your assignment to cloud to do as a service, then probably this is not a service right now. So talking about serverless computing. So you might have heard the serverless computing as you might be in developer life. So serverless computing is all about, it is for the term for the developer that it is, for example, if I want to host an application and I'm single developer in my company or in my organization, or I would like to have a project hosted on some applications, but I don't want all the headache of the servers which are there. So what I can do, the various services are there which can take up my code, do all the things which are required to do, and then I can get the hosted application link and I can work smoothly on my code only and not do the issues which are there or in my the deployment and all journey. And I not needed to think about the serverless. So here server is involved, but not for developers because I'm not directly using the servers, but cloud is providing me with such a feature that it is deploying the things with the help of server, but not I am directly interacting with serverless. So server. So here the term serverless is for developer, and here we are using serverless computing for that. So you might also have used the applications like Heroku, Netlify, where you directly just drop down your code. So that is an example of the serverless computing. So now types of cloud, as we have seen in computer science also, that we have various types of networks which are there like LAN, LAN, LAN. So here also we have different types of clouds like public, private, and hybrid. So public cloud, what it does is that it is when we host our applications or data to public cloud, then it is publicly available to all of the persons which are there. And it really depends on our organization or the person at what type of the models which I would like to use. For example, private cloud. For example, if I'm having such a company or organization where I need to have, where I am having critical data and I'm thinking that my competitors must not get the data which I'm using. So I can use directly private cloud because it's not giving, it is confined to an area and it is not shared publicly to the people which are there. And it is specifically for the people who don't want to share their data publicly. So yeah, next is the hybrid cloud, which many people use, which is the hybrid of the public and private cloud, which allows us to share in both public and private. So what in this example we can see that if I have deployed and created a software, then I can just deploy it for in a private cloud to actually ask my all the developers and as the developers in the team to actually look upon the code and not release the final version. But if I want to release the final version of my code, then I can definitely use public cloud in that case. I hope this example clears what hybrid cloud is all about. So now talking about the major cloud providers which are there. So yeah, computers cannot fly, and that is really a joke. So yeah, so the major cloud providers here are, as we have talked about, the big organizations have easier our task by providing whatever services which are painful to us to our go to as pay as we go model. So here, Amazon Web Services is the first number which is having the best kind of services. And for example, if I talk, okay. For example, if I talk about its computing power, then it is 6 times powerful than all the services available in the market. Nextly is the Microsoft Azure, as we have come in the session with. Nextly, we are having a session on Microsoft Azure that you would be knowing more about it. Also, we have in our list the Google Cloud. You might be aware of the GCP, which is there very popular, which has really good features as Google is maintaining a lot of data, so it is aware of what kind of models they need to provide in services as well. So yeah, more examples of it is Alibaba Cloud, IBM, Oracle, Salesforce, etc. So as you have touched upon the concepts of cloud computing, so I believe that you might be having some of the common myths which I might also be having in the starting of the session or before knowing or after knowing cloud. So yeah, taking some of it is, so cloud locks you in. So many people say that if I upload my data to cloud, then it takes up my data or do something. But that's not really true. That cloud does not do this. And it also depends on the terms which we sign up with our vendors, that what we like to have and what terms we have signed upon. And if we have a good agreement with our cloud providers, then definitely cloud won't lock you in. Nextly, cloud costs jobs. As you might all have heard about AI taking up all the jobs, which is not true. So in cloud, what we are talking about, that it might have done some automation in the cloud industry, but definitely it has not taken the jobs which are there of the people. Next myth is that you need more than one cloud. So if I am thinking about if I'm hosting some things and into my into a cloud, then I might be thinking that this cloud provider is not providing me with those services which I really require, and other provider is providing me. So I need to use multiple clouds, which is not also true. So if anyone has any doubts, then they can clear up and ask. And it would be good if you can really come upon with really silly question also. So you would be learning what all cloud and Azure is all about. So yeah, going on with next myth, that cloud is for tech companies. So as we are talking and taking technical session, and you might be thinking that cloud is only for technical companies which are there, like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, etc. But that is not the case. There are different services which are there, like networking, the AIML services, which other marketing and analytic people can use and do their work accordingly. So it is also said that you are there in the cloud or not there. For example, some companies say to other companies that you are there in the cloud or you don't exist also, but that is not also the case. So here you can read more of the myths and yeah. So here I would like to share the resources which are there. First is the Microsoft Learn, which is the best resource for learning all about Azure services which are there in the video form. Nextly is the Microsoft Docs, which is there in a documentation form, and here you can learn all the services of Azure in really good way. Nextly is the Azure portal. As we know that by learning we learn all the things. So here you can directly go to the Azure portal and learn whatever services which Microsoft provides and learn about it. Nextly is the Azure credits, which is required to actually run Azure portal. And here you can go and just have a look over it. So as I have touched upon really little bit topics around cloud, and so here I would like to test that how much you know the cloud. So we can just start with the quiz and see. And also, if you are performing in good in quiz and are in the top 10, then you would be getting stars as well. So do perform well. And if you have any doubts, then please let us know. खत्म? हाँ? Leave करना है?
एक सेकंड रुक जाओ। सॉरी एक सेकंड। क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग इज
बताना
स्टेटफुल।
लिया ना मैंने आंसर साथ में।
ओके नहीं एक हाथ तो छूट गया था।
नहीं जब का सीए लिखा है मैंने।
ओके
एक मिनट AWS का क्लिक किया तो क्वेश्चन लिखा।
एक सेकंड वो था Amazon क्या प्रोवाइड करता है।
नहीं कोई वापस कौन सा क्वेश्चन है?
14 है ये। Which of the following is cloud platforms?
All of the above ना?
Provided by Amazon.
अच्छा ठीक है।
अरे नहीं ठीक था सही था बताया। क्या क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग के सबको इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं लगता ना?
नहीं पता नहीं।
अच्छा गाइस हेलो। तो आई गेस सोनल का सेशन बहुत सही था, तो आप लोगों ने कुछ ना कुछ तो समझा ही होगा. सो लेट्स हैव सम प्ले सम क्विज, फन क्विज. स्लाइडो सब पहले खेले हुए हैं ना, खेले? तो आई गेस इसका सैंपल करवाने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेट्स स्टार्ट डायरेक्टली. You can just scan here or else open slido.com and write the code 17482 and let's have some quiz. फटाफट कर दो जल्दी से. स्लाइड के लिए बस बताना. ऑल्सो जो नए हैं स्लाइडो पे कुछ नहीं, बस slido.com डालो या फिर ये QR कोड स्कैन करो and will be joining for the quiz. And also जो winners आएंगे top 3, they'll be getting some cool slides. So hurry up. Has everyone joined? कोई बचा है अभी तक? कोई बचा है ज्वाइन करना क्विज को? हाँ? ऑनलाइन के लिए 2 मिनट लगते हैं. मैं तेरे को लिंक पोस्ट कर रहा हूँ, मीट में डाल रहा हूँ, तो मीट से कमेंट्स में डाल दो. ऑनलाइन वालों के लिए कितने लोग आए? 28 लोग आए. Let's just wait for 2-3 minutes more. सब ज्वाइन कर लेते हैं. We'll start. Right? नाम भी रखो इसके लिए तो डालना लोग आ जाएंगे. क्या बोल रहे हैं? ग्रुप में डाल दिया स्टार्टिंग. ये स्कैन करके फोटो भेजिए. यहाँ से लेंगे ना. Moon swamps. लिंक तो डाल. वो लोग बीच में ज्वाइन कर लेंगे शायद. स्टार्ट करो. Okay, everyone has joined, so let's start the quiz. Which is not a major cloud platform? Google 101, Amazon EC2, IBM Deep Blue, Microsoft Azure. Hurry up guys, time is running out. Okay, so maximum people have chosen IBM Deep Blue, and yeah, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. The private cloud is a standard cloud service offered via the internet, a cloud service inaccessible to anyone but the culture like a cloud architecture maintained with an enterprise data center or none of the above. The private cloud is a maximum people have chosen a cloud architecture maintained with an enterprise data center Yeah, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing means storing data in database. Cloud computing is a tool used to create an application, or cloud computing means providing service like storage, database, networking, etc. Or none of the above. Okay, 100% people have chosen cloud computing means providing service. Yeah, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. Which of the following is not a type of cloud? Hybrid cloud, public cloud, private cloud, or merged cloud? Which of the following is not a type of cloud? Okay, so 96% of people choosing merged cloud. Yeah, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. Which of the following is a type of cloud computing services? Software as a server, software as a software, software as a service, software and a server. Okay, you just have 10 seconds to answer. All the options seem same to me. I guess there's some network issue with the network. Okay, so maximum people have chosen software as a service, and yes, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. Application and services that run on distributed network using virtualized resource is known as soft computing, cloud computing, parallel computing, or distributed computing. So maximum people are choosing cloud computing. Let's see. Yeah, that is the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. What are the cons of cloud computing? Security, ongoing cost, restricted or limited flexibility, or all of the above? What are the cons of cloud computing? Okay, a lot of competition between ongoing cost and all of the above. Yeah, all of the above is the right option. Let's move on to our next question. Google Docs is a type of cloud computing. Google Docs सभी यूज करते होंगे यार. Google Docs is a type of cloud computing. A tough competition 52, 42, 48. Sorry. Yeah, the correct answer is true. 52%. Google Docs is a cloud computing. I guess अब सबको पता चल गया. Let's move on to our next question. IaaS stand for information as sales, information as service, infrastructure as sales, infrastructure as a service. अभी आया था presentation. Okay, maximum people have chosen infrastructure as a service. Yes, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. Cloud in cloud computing represents internet, hard drive, floppy disk, external drive. Cloud in cloud computing refers to Okay, 75% have chosen internet. Yes, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. Cloud computing is a reliable system, stateful system, stateless system, or none of the above? Cloud system. Cloud computing is a which system? Reliable system, stateful, stateless. Again, a tough competition. Let's see. Yeah, stateful system is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. The key challenge in adoption of cloud computing is usually limited elasticity, limited scalability, high upfront cost, or data security concerns. The key challenge in the adoption of cloud computing. In the adoption, what do you think? Okay, maximum should have chosen a high upfront cost, but the answer is data security concerns. The key challenge in adoption of cloud computing is data security concerns. Let's move on to our next question. Which of these is not a major type of cloud computing usage? Platform as a service, software as a service, hardware as a service, or infrastructure as a service? Which of these is not a major type of cloud computing? Not. Okay, maximum are choosing hardware as a service. Yes, that's the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. Which of the following is a cloud platform provided by Amazon? AWS, Azure, Cloudera, or all of the mentioned? ये तो बहुत easy है Amazon कौन सा provide करता है? आंसर नहीं बता रहे. हाँ यार. AWS, Azure, Cloudera, or all of the mentioned? Okay, maximum I'm choosing 90% I'm choosing AWS. ये all of the mentioned वाले कौन थे भाई? Yeah, Azure developer के session में आए हो, and you don't know Azure किसका है? Okay, AWS, Amazon provides AWS, Amazon Web Service. Let's move on to our last question. Is internet connection required in cloud computing? Yes, no, depends on the situation. Is internet connection required in cloud computing? Yes, no, depends on situation. 87% yes, 0% no. अच्छा चलो no किसी को नहीं लगता है. Depends on situation. ठीक है. कौन सी सिचुएशन में बिना इंटरनेट के चल जाएगा यार? कौन थे 13% वाले? I just want to know कि बिना उसके कैसे चलेगा? कोई क्रिएटिव माइंड है? अच्छा कुछ लोग डेवलप कर रहे लगता है विदाउट इंटरनेट यूज करने का. Okay, so the answer is yes. And yeah, we come to the end. The winners are Abhishek Sahu, Jatin Agarwal, Naman Singh Raj, Khalid, and Shivani. Congratulations, guys. Khalid को कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. टॉप 3 को देने वाला प्राइजेस कल मिलेंगे कल अरे टॉप 3 को दे रहे वैसे. हाँ. Okay, so top 3 Abhishek Sahu, Jatin Agarwal, Naman Singh Raj. Congratulations, guys. आप लोग को कल स्वैग मिलेंगे. And yeah, I hope you find the quiz really enjoyment and Sonal का session भी बहुत अच्छा रहा होगा. So let's move on to our next part. Khalid, over to you. अच्छा, okay, let's take a break, little break. गर्मी बहुत है, तो थोड़ा खा पी लेते हैं. Okay, so here is a short break, 15-minute break. We'll start the session again by 3:30 p.m. Okay, thank you.
नींद आ रही है बहुत।
कुछ पीना है? अरे पीने का लाया ना, पी लो।